What's up guys? A very special video today for a very special album. This is my personal review of Kardashev's brand new album. Kardashev is a band based in Arizona in the USA, and they just released under Metal Blade Records their new album this past June the 10th, and believe me, this was a huge slap in my face personally. This has such a huge impact on me, and I decided to make this review for the channel. Kardashev were formed in 2012, and they get their name based on the astrophysician Nikolai Kardashev. There's no secret about that. The band is composed of Nico Mirota at guitars, Mark Garrett, and believe me, Mark Garrett is unbelievable, Mark Garrett at the vocals, Alex Riff at the bass, and Sean Lang at the drums. In 2012, they put out Progression, is a demo mixing deathcore elements and ambient atmospheric stuff elements. The next year, the band just come up with Exhibio, an EP that is more on the side of the death metal, but they continue in 2014 with AOTY. And they move, to a first full-length album with Peripacy that was published and released in 2015. Then more and more the band adds more and more passages, ambient passages to their compositions, and it's on the album The Almanac in 2017 that their music really completely integrates shoegaze elements and post-rock. They are back with the EP The Bearing of Shadows in 2020, and then we see directly the direction that they're taking more and more against, oriented with shoegaze elements mixed with also the always deathcore elements. So all this to say that they invite the listener to a trip, to a voyage, since 2012 with their first EP Progression. The guys suggest a deathcore, that is, overlaid by atmospheric passages and always a theme about space and astral stuff. The guys, so they come here with a brand new album this June the 10th. And believe me, this album is unbelievable from start to finish. And next in this video, I'm gonna, explain a little bit, develop a little bit more specifically on the album track by track. Liminal Rite is the title of the album and is composed of 11 tracks for a total playing time of sharply an hour, 59 minutes and 55 seconds. But the particularity, if you are a vinyl nerd like I am, be informed that in order for them to keep the album on one unique record and not on a two-set record, they just removed a track of 8 minutes from this album, and also the small interludes that you can find all along the album. It's a pain in the ass, if I can say, because you don't have the complete product on vinyl, but the good thing is that it stays on one record, so it's easier listening for the ones of you like me who likes to play their vinyl. Apparently, guitarist Nico Mirola declared that the band went into the studio with no fixed plans for what became Liminal Rite. The focus was on emotional tone first, and then everything else follows, that emotional tone, believe me, it is there all along the album, and that's why I really love this album. This album is structured around a story that is told on the record by drummer himself, Sean Lang, about an aging man whose day-to-day existence is slowly diverging from his reality. A 2-minute intro track to start up the album, where you can hear the drummer talk, and believe me, here you get what you know what you're getting for this album, all along. The themes exploited here is really suffering, loss, despair. And you can hear him say, I left this place but you stayed, so you know what you're getting here with this album, because it's going to be like that all along. But this is just the the intro track where you understand that the story will be focused on a guy who is dying or who just died, and will tell us the story of him reaching the other side.
Fields of gold sway like waves of the ocean. Gentle chimes echo through the air. Their dancing melodies swing with the wind.
All along the album, it will alternate really long tracks with from time to time, some interludes. But again, those interludes won't be on the vinyl edition. But then it has no break at all. These interludes really are considered like elements that put together a track and the next one. So you have really no break at all during all the 60 minutes of the album. So you have to know that these tracks there, whether they're short or long, they always mix some harsh, aggressive vocals with great high tone, clean vocals all along. So you never know, a minute from another, you can have a certain voice, and then it will be followed by another voice, and get back to the previous voice, and it's always mixed with great guitar melodies. Fast drummings, repetitively comes back, with deathcore chants, and it comes back to clean vocals, and it's like that. The way the album is constructed is really like that on each track, and it's unbelievable because it's really a roller coaster of emotions, all along from start to finish. And I really recommend that you listen to this album in its entirety, because it's not an album that you just listen like that from one song and then an hour after another song. No, you have to really take the time, take an hour of your time, chill, just chill. Listen to that album with a good sound, preferably with headphones, in order to really impregnate the atmosphere and what the story tells you, because it's really superbly written, all along. And again, the themes that are exploited here is really despair, loss, regrets. A lot about these themes all along the album. A guy who doesn't accept the thing that is dying or is dead. Actually, he left his beloved, he left his house, and then in the end, it's really like a roller coaster, as I said. But in the end, it goes really crescendo. And to go down really in the album, when the album closes, once the character there realizes that he has to admit that he's dead, he has to make his acceptance, of the fact that he died. And then there is really a climax, in the last part of the track, when it goes up again with some really I don't know, like eerie and really... I don't know, I wouldn't say horrific, but the two last minutes are really, okay, he accepted his death, but still he has some anger, that comes there, and it's really hairy in the end, and it's like that all along the album, and it's really crazy. I'm gonna read you some passages of certain songs. On the track number 6, The Blinding Threshold, you will hear, I am transformed, a shapeless artifact of myself long gone. So there you can really understand that he pushes the idea of being dead and leaving this world. On the 7th track, Composed Grave Song, he talks about his dead brother that he has now joined in death, and you can hear him say, I am a fragment of stone that was broken, still alive in the trees, washed away, my mind is distilled into the purest form of grief. Show me your face, my brother forgotten. It's really, it's so great, the way that it battles constantly, between life and death, acceptance or denial, and it's amazing all along. On the 8th track of the album, Sellers of Ghosts, which is a 6-minute 30 seconds track. It started really calm, for the first seconds, and then really speed drumming, always nice guitar melodies, and then you can hear deaf and black vocals, mixed all along with the atmospheric voice, clean vocals there, and it's always like that. It talks about despair again, loss, regrets, and what is great is that it combines really 3 different or even 4 different tones of voice, tones of vocals. You will all along hear a mix of black metal vocals, a mix of deathcore, a mix of death vocals, and also clean vocals, and that's why really is amazing there. And especially on the Cellar of Ghosts track, there is an amazing chorus with great clean vocals and really super catchy that will stick into your head, believe me, for hours. And you can hear him sing, "Come away with me, I know all the hours that I have spent alone, come away with me, I know I am bowed by my past, I should have known." It's the most, to me, it's the most addictive track on the album, and Mark's clean vocals will become higher tone in the end of this track, and it's super emotive, believe me. On the knife track of the album, Glass Phantoms, it's a 5-minute track who starts with rumbling drums and nervous guitar riffs, and black vocals saying, "Let me come home." And then he expressed really the anger, followed again by high clean vocals and black metal vocals. And you hear him say, "Oh, curse of my eyes to see what is gone." The next track is called A Vagabond's Lament. It's the 10th track of the album, and this is the one that has been cut for the vinyl edition. And it's one of the longest track of the album. It's more than 1 minute long, and it's mostly instrumental, but then really incorporates a lot of shoegaze elements, and you can hear him say curtain, candle and letter, compost, cellar and stone, and it's basically a summary of what all the themes that he talked about earlier on the album, on the previous tracks, you know. And it's very emotive. And in the end, we can understand that his personal travel to death is being accepted after all his related memories that were adopted in the previous part of the album. The last track, the closing track, the 11th one, Beyond the Passage of Embers, well, just the title, you get to understand, you know, what's going on there. It's nearly 12 minutes long. You can hear him say, "Mind, rise with the smoke, I'm asking for forgiveness, I'm being selfish again, but what else do I know? As a curling silhouette, I can finally let go." So here he finally reaches the acceptance of his fate, and you can hear him say again, "This place I once called home has gone from me. Everything has changed. This is not my home." So he's definitely crossed, you know, the other world, you know, he's in the other part of the world, in the other dimension. And there, the specificity of this song is that you will hear a lot of saxophone on this track, and there will be a predominance of clean vocals and high-tone vocals on the first part of the song. Black and deaf vocals will come back at the second half of the song after 7 minutes, and the way it ends, you will hear a voice talking, you know, and then you understand that he went through his final passage to the other world. You can hear him say, "Everything is different, the animals don't come here anymore, the ground has moved and the arms of the earth have fallen, the windows peering through the overgrowth seem to face a different direction now." It's crazy, because then you understand what happens, and then you understand that he crossed the other part of the world, you know, and he's actually accepted his death, and he's gone. So that's more or less, you know, my interpretation of the album. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but by listening to it, you know, several times, and checking the lyrics on internet, that's the way, you know, my own interpretation of the album. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Just if you listen to the album, maybe put the comments down below in the description of this video. Maybe I'm totally wrong about you know, my interpretation, but that's my own interpretation of the album, and it's absolutely fantastic. Now it's time for me to summarize this album. So it's a well-written adventure that tells the story of a man who is dying, carrying with him all his regrets, despair and loss, until his final acceptance of his fate and finally reaching the other world. It's an emotional roller coaster all along, mixing harsh black and deaf vocals with clean vocals, shoegazy and also brutal passages, with no break at all during the whole adventure. An album to be consumed in its entirety, as I said before, that will transport you into another dimension. I think that this album is really so varied, you know, so there's a mix of so many elements in that album that it will be appreciated by not only fans of deathcore, but also fans of shoegaze, of course, because the album is full of shoegaze elements. But fans of black metal will appreciate it as well, because black metal voice is there, well represented. Same for death metal, because you have a lot of death metal elements in the album. So it's really a mix of different things. and I really strongly recommend you don't sleep on this album, because to me it's a really a strong album of the year contender for this year. And it's a record in which you will lose yourself, because you will be very lost in this album, because it keeps getting better the more it evolves. You know, the more it moves to the end, it keeps getting better and better. And this album is a no miss, and believe me, you will. I'm sure you will love it. Feel free to put your comments in the comments down below what you thought about this album. I hope that this humble review from my side will give you the envy to discover it, and I hope you will like it. But please don't miss this album, because it's absolutely fantastic. It's been I think it's the album that speaks to me, and that is the more relevant to me for this year. And I will talk about it by the end of the year for sure, because it will for sure represent it in my end of the year list, and maybe at the top position, who knows. So this was my review of Kardashev's new album, Liminal Rite. And well, again, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe to this channel if it's not done yet, and I will see you for a new adventure very, very soon. Ciao guys.